All right, welcome everyone to a very special week of TechRise. We got off to a bit of a rocky start and we're not live streaming, but this will be posted immediately after. So if you're watching this, it just happened. And we're excited to have you here supporting the founders from the North Lawndale community. And we are doing this week's TechRise in partnership with two really important family foundations that have been very active in supporting the North Lawndale community. So we have the Staines Family Foundation and the Morrison Family Foundations. And we are so grateful that this week's prize money is actually a whopping $50,000, which is our biggest prize ever on TechRise. And we are so thrilled to have everyone here. So before I get started with our judges, I do want to take a second to talk about what it means to do a community specific or neighborhood specific program on TechRise. And what that means is that we have the opportunity to identify founders from across that city or that area of our city, and mostly working through some of the really incredible business service organizations that operate there, that have helped identify founders that are high potential, who have the ability to take technology and scale and grow their businesses. So we're excited to support them today with such a meaningful contribution. And if there are other family foundations that are watching that have similar areas of the city that they focus on, we'd love to welcome you to TechRise to support in that way. But for everyone else who can't support at that level, of course, you can always contribute to the TechRise Fund at techrise.co/donate. And if you're a founder in the audience, you can be idea stage, seed stage. You don't even have to have a website yet or even an LLC. You just have to have an idea. We would love to have you on anytime. So techrise.co/apply. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our judges. First, we have Jyoti Valarupalli. If you want to join us on stage and wave hello. She is at Lightbank. She joined in 2021 as an associate. Previously, she worked as a management consultant at McKinsey, driving growth strategy initiatives at major global retail and CPG companies and emerging technology startups. She has a passion for philanthropic work and is on the Young Professionals Board of the Chicago chapter of Cradles to Crayons. So thanks so much for being here, Jyoti. Next, we have Eileen Robertson-Hamra, CEO of Fit Together. And she's an author, a speaker, and an impact investor. Eileen provides lifestyle and business coaching to individuals and companies looking to explore and expand what is possible for themselves, their business, and their future of the planet. And I have to admit, she's one of my favorite angel investors and a super supportive investor of women in general, but also just of impact founders. So it's exciting to have you here. And she is a published author and an amazing kind of person to bring people together, and also part of the conscious capitalism movement, which is another place that I care a lot about too. And then our final judge is activist and entrepreneur Jamal Green, principal CEO of Majesty Marketing Company. His latest venture, Entrepreneur Us, right? Am I saying it right? Or US? Go ahead, say it.
Entrepreneur Us.
Entrepreneur Us aims to bring awareness to Black-owned businesses in urban neighborhoods. And further, Green has also been busy engaging with local communities through civil rights advocacy. His most recent activism efforts landed Black and Latino families in Chicago $600 million in loans from Chase Bank to repair lending practices. So we're excited to be here and definitely bring your expertise of the community that we are hoping to support. So great to have you. All right. And so with that, we are ready to get started with our pitches. So the first pitch that we're going to invite to the stage is Noelle Curtis from Pretty Dapper, and she will have about 4 minutes. So Jamal, you and I will go off screen, and Noelle, let us know when you're ready and we will start the timer.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
We can.
Okay, awesome. I am ready.
Go for it.
Hi, my name is Noelle Curtis. I'm the owner of Pretty Dapper PC, a boutique salon providing customized personal care in an intimate environment, and now journeying into the tech world. 7 years ago, I opened a day spa, and by year 3, we had serviced over 1,200 clients, had a 90% rebooking rate, and our earnings before taxes were $80,000, but we were operating at a negative gross profit margin, and I wasn't paying myself. I knew I couldn't continue to spend time away from my family and not have any profit to show for it. So I sought help and implemented immediate changes. As you can see on the screen, that's what we did. And we are currently outpacing industry average with our profit margin. And I was finally able to pay myself. However, the financial struggle is a common shared story throughout the personal service industry. The issue is the beauty programs are in the business of teaching technique, not business. And when someone graduates from a beauty program, if they can't find work within the industry, they're forced to start working for themselves. And I call them default entrepreneurs. Because I was able to track all of the formulas and processes, which I still operate by today, I decided to systematize them and make them available to others in the industry to help them avoid the pitfalls my company experienced. And with that question, how do I earn a livable wage with my creative talent, led to the birth of the Beauty Business Booster. It's the merging of artificial intelligence and business intelligence geared for the small business owner, and particularly within the beauty industry. Our cloud-based planning and business management software does the math for the user's specific data inputs, and then it generates daily, monthly, quarterly plans of activities for the users to achieve their desired revenue goal. And every user's experience is truly unique because of that feature. When you look in the industry for business software support tools, you'll find two major categories: a booking system that stands alone with a higher monthly usage fee, which is where you'd find our program, or a business directory with a lower per month user fee. And all of them have the same back-end support. So you have credit card processing, customer relationship management tools, text message communication. But our features, which are unique, is that we will make automated financial projections and automated daily progress reports to the user so that they know if they're on time and on target for their goals. So we have very aggressive milestones for the future. Q4 of this year, we plan to continue a fundraising goal of $260,000, which will cover our operating costs for 2022. We will have completed software development. I'm a novice techie, and I've started coding this system already. We would like to activate our relationships, such as the credit card processing companies and the telecommunication companies. And given my background in marketing and media, I've already started laying out a Midwest regional marketing campaign comprising of schools and social media activity, as well as other events. We'd also like to hire staff. And you can see the breakdown there. And then going into Q1 of 2022, we have a very aggressive subscription goal of 2,000 subscribers, but that covers the 5 states in the Great Lakes region. I'm not afraid to admit what I don't know. I do need advice. This is my first venture into a project like this, and I have so many lingering questions. Here's just a few of them. Particularly, do I outsource the software development? Do I hire someone on the team specifically? What other formulas outside of the 20 or so that I already have programmed working should I explore adding into the system? And then what other industries and at what point should I activate this into other markets? Because it is quite possible to go into a white label and be used in other industries. So I welcome your questions. There's my contact information.
Wonderful. Let me invite the judges on right now to ask some questions.
Noelle, I can ask, do you want to go in particular order? Noelle, how did you get inspired to get into software development?
Right, so high school, honestly. I loved computers. I'm very gadget oriented, but the beauty industry paid the bills for me. It was easier to get into the beauty industry than to get into the tech industry for me. And so the love for math really continues to linger in my life. And then plus,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Plus the opportunity there, right? I say it all the time, like a computer doesn't know your color, your gender, nothing like that. So it's a very free space to play, in my opinion.
Okay. Who is your closest competitor and what makes you different?
So we have, for instance, there's a company that just launched with a 750 million valuation, Squire. They are a booking software system, but they're specifically geared to the barber industry. particularly African Americans. Again, our unique feature is that we create a plan prior to people starting to provide service, or if they're already in service, how can they go back and readjust their margins? And so our system tells you what to do instead of you going and telling the system what you've done.
I know, what is your plan to acquire users, and what do you estimate the cost of user acquisition to be?
Right, so we figured that it'll be about $47 to acquire a user. And that's from a combination of taking time to actually speak with them. We want to offer customer service support if they don't want to go in and enter their own numbers. What was your second question? I'm sorry.
What is your strategy to acquire users?
Oh, yes. So with the market, we definitely are following the industry market. So metro area Chicago, metro area Detroit, Milwaukee, the Twin Cities, and we already have contacts in those markets from just my general network within the industry. And so we would follow that strategy to acquire users, and a combination of going into schools to subscribe, get user subscription, as well as a social media strategy. That one is pretty aggressive because there's so many Facebook groups and activities that we can venture into, but our primary target would be schools and conventions and events and that one-on-one communication.
Great. Well, we have time for one more question if anyone has one. No. Okay, well then we will move on. Great job, Noelle.
Thank you.
And next we would like to invite Goodie Shop on to pitch. So we have Edwin and great.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Will Porter, the owner of the Goodie Shop.
My name is Demario Phipps-Smith. I am the development manager.
And let's get into it.
Share the screen. Just going to share the screen. Right here. Share. Okay, can you guys see the screen?
We're good. You're not in presenter mode yet, but we can see the slides.
Okay, cool.
Can we see now?
Yep. Okay.
So we all good? Can we see now?
I recommend using, instead of presenter view, if you can exit out and just go to play from beginning. Yeah, so go back to slideshow.
Is it at the bottom?
Just like up in the top row, like with the tabs. Home, insert, draw. If you go to slideshow,
okay,
play from start. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So the Goodie Shop and TechRise. Let's bring more good to the hood. The Goodie Shop has been servicing the greater West Side since 2008. We're a Black-owned legacy business located in the heart of North Lawndale, and we've partnered with local schools, neighborhood restaurants, and other small businesses to promote their brands and also build their visibility. In this age of information, the Goodie Shop has become a vital resource to our customers, many whom are neighbors working with us to revitalize the West Side. According to the latest small business stats, 31% of small businesses in the US are currently not operational. That's nearly 1/3 of small businesses. Over 70% of US small businesses shut down in March of 2020. 60% of those are permanently closed, according to the US Chamber of Commerce. And 80% of small businesses are not taking full advantage of available technology, according to a 2018 report from the professional service firm Deloitte. Small companies that fully utilize technology earn 2 times more the revenue per employee, experience nearly 4 times the revenue growth annually. We're almost 3 times more likely to create more jobs in the next year. With the onset of the pandemic, the need to modernize the shop's operational systems is very important. We've had to cut store hours, optimize our space to ensure our patrons' health. And however, the demands of the new COVID-stricken world has put new strains on our business. A majority of our orders come from leg traffic, and our current systems were conceived with the physical experience in mind. We would need more help developing our technology infrastructure and operating systems if we're going to survive and eventually thrive in the aftermath of the pandemic. And with the support of TechRise, we could modernize these technology and operation systems, research and develop an e-commerce platform. We would be able to upgrade our equipment and hire more people from the community.
So as far as the competitive landscape is concerned, on the West Side, there are less than a handful of printing shops that have survived. You know, they have gone under, but also with the conditions of COVID, that's also harmed the business around here. But there's only less than a handful of them serving more than 450,000 people on the West Side alone. Even with the growth of online shops and services, we've talked to countless of our customers, and they tell us that they prefer the face-to-face experience, right? We know how to speak their language. We know and understand them. We can provide them with the type of customer service that they just can't get from a computer.
The Goodie Shop team is a quintessential family-owned business. It was passed on from my father, Willie Porter, who was the founder. And when he established this business, he impressed upon us the value of supporting community and doing the most in the most loving way possible. Throughout the shop's history, we've been focused on hiring people of the community to help us deliver the best quality service possible. At the Goodie Shop, we believe in something called radical hospitality, the practice of putting extraordinary effort and emphasis on making people feel welcome.
And so let's win together. With your support, we're supporting the community, the people on the West Side of Chicago. The aunt who lost her nephew to gun violence is helping put together a funeral despite a tremendous amount of pain. The neighborhood football team, the 15-year-old who wants to use her love of graphic design to earn some money to support her throughout high school and build her resume. The young entrepreneur who wants to promote their business to the world. Help us support these people and support the people of the West Side. Thank you. That's all that we have. And if you guys have any questions, we'd love to hear them.
Great job, guys. You can stop presenting and we can welcome the judges on to ask some questions.
I can go first. Is it exclusively t-shirts, or do you have other merchandise that you print and brand?
So we have print media, from banners, business cards, anything that anyone would need to market themselves or put out into the world, pretty much. Anything that can be printed.
So how do you expect this investment, or if you win, to increase your revenue?
Well, this could increase our revenue because this is kind of a seasonal business where we do peak in sales in our summertime. However, there's not a lot of events going on. There's not much going on in the fall, which we would rely on contract work like those bigger companies who have access to those. So by having an e-commerce platform and being able to incorporate tech, now it's consistent throughout the year that we're steady making revenue. We don't even have to be in the building to even make money because people can order from the comfort of their home, which is the new world that we're living in.
Yeah. Speaking of what is your turnaround time when moving out with printing, and what makes you different from some of the other print shops?
Well, I'm gonna start with what makes us different from those different print shops. We're able to provide a more intimate experience for the person who looks like us versus going to these offices and warehouses who you don't even know who's running them. We're able to help people get exactly what they're wanting. As far as turnaround time, it depends on quantity. Someone can come in today and they can leave out with a shirt today. Someone can need 100 shirts and they might have that 100 shirts in the next 5 days. It depends all upon what we're doing and what they need. But we do provide the best service we can, and we get it done by any means necessary.
And do you guys have any, is it just print in the shop? I saw something on there on the outside. It says something about sweets. I was a little confused. What else do you have? What else are you selling out of the shop?
Okay, so like I said, we started in 2008. So originally we used to sell candy. We used to sell tips. We had T-shirts. So stuff for, the kids to come in and even indulge. So that's also where the Goodie shop came in. We wanted to have everything, but we're more centric on the bigger business of T-shirts and media stuff. So that's where we're in now.
So you mentioned that a lot of your focus is customer service, like helping people in a very personalized way. How do you hope to continue that as your business moves online or as you grow bigger?
Well, as we grow bigger and as we move to online, now we have the opportunity to service more customers. There has been times where we've been overwhelmed with customers and they didn't get a chance to have their order taken. But now, if we're able to put this in a space where we're able to take as many orders as we need to, and we can plan for it, is no problem for that customer. And nobody's counted out. Everybody gets that Goodie shop experience, whether they're at home or whether they come to see us.
Right, and I think another part of that too is just also like realizing like that is a really hard thing to communicate via digitally. And that is something that we would love to have some advice on. We would love to get some mentorship on, is taking that very specific experience that you can only get on the Goodie shop in the west side of Chicago and taking it to the online version.
Great, well, wonderful job, guys. Thanks for being on. And next we're going to invite Alexie Young and Art West with her company, Art West, onto the stage. All right, and everyone else can, oh, you're muted, just so you know, Alexie.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're ready for you when you are.
Okay, awesome. So I just click on my presentation when I'm ready, or?
Sure, you just need to hit share screen first at the bottom of the Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, and we can see it. So you can go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, awesome. Let's see here. So there we go. I was able to move that panel. All right, awesome. So hello, good afternoon. My name is Alexie Young. I'm an artist and I'm here presenting the Art West business model. Really nervous, but I'm super excited for this opportunity. Okay, so Art West, we're located on the west side of Chicago. Our mission is to rebrand the west side through arts and culture. What we're pitching today is an opportunity to create more access for creative experiences with creative people in a creative space closer to home. So for home, many of us here on this call, home is North Lawndale. home is the west side of Chicago. And one of the problems here is that location really does impact access to experiences. Many individuals who are stakeholders, homeowners, and residents here in the neighborhood often have to leave North Lawndale and the west side to experience cultural amenities. I often say that we are in an amenity desert. Some people may know more disadvantaged neighborhoods to be what they call food deserts, but I also consider those places to also be amenity deserts. So where do you go when you want to have a good time and be in a safe space and connect with people that think like you? One of the other issues is that collaboration is a product of connection. And if you are not in close proximity to places that allow you to connect with people who you really do want to collaborate with, that really does impact your ability to grow and thrive as a business owner who does live on the west side of Chicago, let alone being a creative business owner in this neighborhood. So what does that really mean to us? That means that no access to spaces means that there are less experiences and less opportunities to test creative concepts. So the one thing that I often tell people is that, yes, I am an artist, but I am not a thriving, I am an artist, but I am not a starving artist, is what I really want to say. I'm not a starving artist. And the truth is that many of us, especially you all here today, are all artists. You actually were artists before you were anything else. Like when you were children, you probably started scribbling on the walls before you actually started to speak. And somewhere along the way, the world has taught you that art is an accessory. It's not an asset. And I'm here to tell you that they lied. The truth is that the creative workforce is growing, and they are a whole new industry to tap into. And we've been able to do that within just a matter of a few months. So with that being said, Art West is I feel like I want to make sure that I'm not too far ahead. Okay, great. So Art West is a creative lab for creatives. Essentially, what we do is we open our doors, not just for the enjoyment of art as consumption, but we also open our space to share it with other creatives. The issue that a lot of individuals have typically in the creative industry is that many of our institutions, such as museums and larger galleries, make it a little bit less accessible. And so the open door policy that we have allows creatives to gravitate to our space, and they're able to also sign up for small memberships at Art West. And we'll talk a little bit more about Art West Access membership in just a moment. So we were established in 2019.
Alexie, I'm sorry, we're hitting the 4-minute mark, so we're going to have to answer some of those questions in real time, and you can add some of the elements in the details
great.
When people come on to ask questions. So judges, I'll bring you back on for some questions.
Yeah, I'll start. Real quick, can you dive into the revenue model and how, if you did get this grant, how would that benefit you going forward?
Awesome, thank you. So our revenue model is we work towards 4 different strategies. The first one is to create experiences through ticketed events. So we do have curated events that we host on a regular basis, inviting people to purchase tickets and enjoy some arts and entertainment. Our second strategy is the Art West Access membership. So curators and instructors and entrepreneurs who need space on a regular basis have a membership where they're able to pay on a monthly basis, access the space, host events, and also meetings, as well as expand their ideas, their concepts, and grow their network. Our third strategy is art dealings and merchandise. So we actually do have merchandise sales. We've purchased shirts through the Goodie shop, so shout out to them. And we've been able to sell merchandise as well as take commissions from our art sales as well. And then our last but not least is rentals, because we have a space that's about 1,200 square feet, along with a lot that is about 3 sizes larger than our indoor space. We've been able to appeal to individuals who are looking for more accessible rental opportunities, especially on the west side of Chicago.
How do you hope to use technology to increase access to Art West and the network and really accelerate all the offerings that Art West has?
Thank you so much. That's a great question. Our goal as an art space is to really create an opportunity to provide more immersive art experiences and more immersive creative experiences in general for entrepreneurs who are looking for a facility that is both audio and visually optimized, so that they can start to customize the experiences that they're hosting for others. So while we do curate events on our own, we definitely want to appeal to a larger market of digital artists, film artists, and creatives who are looking for more technical, tech-based spaces that can showcase their work in a more creative way. And we haven't necessarily seen that happen on the West Side, so we're extremely excited to position ourselves to become one of the pioneers in that direction.
So this funding then would go to pay for all of that equipment that you need to infuse into the art center to make that happen. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Thank you, Eileen, for that question as well. The funds will definitely help improve and increase our audio and visual capabilities, but also it would allow us to reach a larger market through building a database of creatives that we want to collect information from over time. We do know that there is an increase of arts and performing arts students who are graduating from institutions, and the performing arts and the visual arts in general is a growing industry, especially here in Chicago. And where are those individuals going to test some of their concepts in real time, in real world? And our goal is to make sure that we have the technology to support those individuals through offering software access, through being able to also, again, build that database, because we haven't necessarily seen a census of artists yet.
I have to cut us
know,
off.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but you did a great job. And thank you so much. I know this is so hard and you have so much to share and everyone's so passionate. So I completely understand. And you guys have given the judges a hard deliberation, but they're going to go off now into their breakout room and decide who the winner is. And in the meantime, I'll have everyone go video off and I will bring on. So Rodney Brown is the executive director of New Covenant in North Lawndale. He is also a member of the executive committee of North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council and chair of the Economic Development Committee. Previously, Rodney served as co-director of the Continuing Education and Professional Development Division of the Joseph Business School for almost 10 years. And Rodney has more than 30 years of experience in business and has served on the boards of nonprofit organizations in many roles. And so we're just honored to have you here to talk about the North Lawndale community and specifically about the work that you're doing there. So if you could you share a little bit about the origin story of New Covenant and like how did it begin and maybe how your priorities have shifted over time?
Sure, I'm glad to. Thank you, Josie. I appreciate that. So actually, New Covenant was birthed out of a local church, Livermore Christian Center, and we were launched into North Lawndale with the goal of being part of the rebuilding of that community. There were 3 of us that got started at the time, and as we began to march into the community and look around, we decided that we wanted to do an assessment of what the community needed. So as we looked around, we determined that there were a host of needs that were important. Things that we were looking to see, how do we help build this community? What did we look at now? So our initial assessment said there was a need for housing, jobs, literacy support, basic general education, entrepreneurship. And so as we began to engage further, we determined that based on our skill set, that entrepreneurship and small business development would be the primary target that we would go after. Over the years, we've continued with this as our primary focus, and with a slight modification, as we looked around the ecosystem of entrepreneur development, we actually found out that there's a gap that we fit very well, which is focusing on financial documents. So we have a financial dashboard course that we offer that helps small business owners understand and learn about the numbers. Noelle talked about how she based her business on the numbers. So what we look at is helping entrepreneurs understand how to do that. Understanding that the other needs were also critical, as you pointed out earlier. I'm also one of the original co-founders of the North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council. This organization addresses most, if not all, the needs for development in North Lawndale. We actually have 13 different issue areas that we address, 13 different committees, and we developed an award-winning quality of life plan that addresses all 13 issue areas. So aside from economic development, we include housing, we talk about workforce development, health and wellness, arts and culture, transportation, all those basic needs that you would look at to rebuild a community, we have as part of that organization.
That's amazing. I didn't realize it was so interconnected, which actually kind of will lead into some more of the questions, but I'm just, like curious, like what's the long-term vision for North Lawndale? What do you see happening, 10, 20 years from now? And what are you building towards?
So as we built NOCCC, one of the questions we asked the community was, what do you want to see in North Lawndale in the next 5 to 10 years? So our vision for North Lawndale is to become a self-sustaining community. We envision a community where you can get everything you need within that community. A few years ago, as we were putting this whole process together, we were having an economic development committee meeting, and we were talking about what's in the community. And one of the residents walked up to me after the meeting and said, you know what, Rodney? I go outside of North Lawndale for everything I need except a haircut. And that was truly sad to hear that. And it just made us think about, we need to really focus on how do we build the economic infrastructure in North Lawndale. So the work in New Covenant is highlighted by the fact that we're looking at building entrepreneurship, building small businesses. Because as we look at this, we understand that the velocity of the dollar in the community is a measure of its financial health. So what we mean by that is how much money is earned and spent within that community. Our focus is to build a community where the local businesses are owned by local residents in North Lawndale. Because what happens then is that people tend to spend money in the community where they live. So the business owner's there, he'll spend money there. More than 50 years ago, with the assassination of Martin Luther King, there was a beginning of disinvestment in North Lawndale. So we need to be in a position where we can sustain ourselves despite decisions that others may make to disinvest in the community. So as we look at doing this, we understand that we have to create an economic environment that is sustainable long-term. This sector of entrepreneurship and small business owners, they're the ones that create jobs, they pay taxes, they help become solid community partners. As you listen to both Willie and to Alexie, you hear how they've talked about being solid partners in the community. That's because they're entrepreneurs in the business, in the community, and they look to figure out how they can help support the community as well.
Yeah. And speaking of, I mean, you referenced some of the organizations that have come together already, but, I know that Sunshine Enterprises is there, North Lawndale Employment Network, the Chamber of Commerce. It seems that North Lawndale has done such a tremendous job of bringing together so many different organizations on this collective vision. And we haven't really heard that same kind of collaboration across other, subsets of our city. So I'm curious, how did that happen? And how can other neighborhoods learn from that?
Well, actually, that unique level of collaboration is what I call a lesson hard learned. In the past, North Lawndale tried doing things like this, but they didn't collaborate. The organization didn't collaborate. It became I got to look out for me, look out for my organization, et cetera. And what happens when you do that is that you really don't create the kind of force that's possible to be successful. So what we've understood that, there is, that kind of thinking is fostered with a concern about a shortage of resources, either for the individual or for the organizations. What we've done is that we try to look at what's best for North Lawndale. When we created NOCCC, when we look at New Covenant and focusing and partnership with other organizations who are in our ecosystem, we have in mind what's best for our clients, what's best for the students, what's best for the community. With that kind of mindset, then your question becomes, how do we work together? And what's best to be able to do that? Because we don't have a shortage mindset where it's okay, if I don't do just what I need for me, then I'm going to be put out. We understand that there's no shortage of people with business ideas. The people that are talking here this afternoon that are on this pitch are proof of the breadth and depth of ideas, the creativity, the resources that can be made available. And as we look at this, we see entrepreneurship as catalytic for the community. A thriving business community can render significant benefits beyond what can be seen by the natural eye immediately. So for us, it can be hard sometimes for others to take that viewpoint. So if you don't have that in other communities, it's because they have not realized yet that at this point in time, what's really best for the community is going to be best for each individual business and organizations within that community.
Yeah, it's interesting. We see the same thing on the TechRise front when we are intentionally focused on, like stakeholder-centric design when it comes to solutions like this, right? Because there's so many people and organizations and communities that benefit when you succeed at your mission, right? And so thinking through how to bring those people in along the way and not doubling up on the work and, borrowing from the expertise of one to help make, the sum greater than, or whatever, the whole greater than the sum of its parts is an important part that I think is sometimes missing even in our, in our do-good ecosystem, right? We're all, but resource constraints, of course, make it sometimes competitive, and we should try to overcome it as you guys have in your community. One of the things I love that you said was about the velocity of the dollar and how that is measured. And I don't know if it's a formal metric or, kind of a feeling, but hopefully eventually it's a formal metric. But I think that the same thing is true within like just startup funding in general. And that if we can, like one of the most important things for me in doing TechRise and bringing on founders like we have today is that if we can get acceleration capital into the hands of these founders, they can hire faster and they can either fail faster or scale faster, but both of those are good for our ecosystem, right? Because that means the money's coming through faster, hiring's faster, the talent development's faster. So we're really excited to be involved. This is our event together, but I'm thrilled that we have so many wonderful candidates coming through, and we actually have 2 more North Lawndale pitch competitions in September and October. So do you have any advice for us bringing on more founders? And then, how can people get more involved in New Covenant and NLCCC and any of the other organizations?
Well, I think, one of the things that we look at is, you get involved in New Covenant, you can reach us, at our telephone number, which is 773-826-1356, or send an email to our office manager, Doreen, at new-covenantcdc.org. But when you look at support for organizations like ours and what entrepreneurs need to be successful, one of the things that we talk about is making sure that they have the kind of training. You talk about failing faster or excelling faster. It's important, we think, that community-based organizations are supported. Entrepreneurs like the ones we have on the screen here, they need training. They need to be taught how to run the business. They need to understand the financial documents that they're looking at. So organizations like New Covenant are in place to be able to do that. And local organizations like New Covenant also have the relationships in place. We understand, I heard Willie talk about understanding and speaking the language. Well, a place like New Covenant, we speak the language of the people in our community, so we can be a better support for them going forward. And if you just give money to individuals who don't understand how to manage it, you run the risk that they're going to actually fail with that. And so we look to make sure that doesn't happen.
No, absolutely. And not everyone actually knows that's watching, but TechRise isn't just about what's happening here on stage and the money that gets awarded. So before every competition, every founder that comes on stage is matched with a mentor that is another founder in our ecosystem that has successfully raised money, and to hopefully kind of build some network connectivity, especially across our city, right? Taking it out of the loop in River North and Fulton Market and hopefully bringing it across Chicagoland. But in addition to that, we actually do have some ongoing support through our online community on Eureka that we're excited to bring, all of your founders, not just the ones that come onto the TechRise stage to come join us. So I think there's some ways for us to all collaborate together, not just in real time like this, but also on the web, sharing resources and making sure that everyone knows what's going on across the city. It's a really important part of this work. So I think they should be done or close to done, but and I guess I should ask some more questions. Well, I'm not sure that everyone in the audience actually knows like the bounds of North Lawndale. So could you tell people kind of like what the cross streets are, kind of define?
So on the east end, the boundaries is going to be around Western Avenue. On the western end, you're going to hit to Cicero. On the southern end, it's going to be around Ogden, Cermak, in that general area. And then on the northern end, it's going to be just south of the expressway.
Okay.
Eisenhower Expressway.
Great.
I think it's called Community District 29 or something like that.
Great. Well, what's next for you all? Do you have any big initiatives that you're heading into for 2022?
Well, there are a lot of developments going on right now in North Lawndale. As you may be aware of, the mayor has this project called Invest Southwest, and New Covenant has been chosen to be the corridor manager for the Invest Southwest Ogden corridor in North Lawndale. There are two major developments being bid on right now, one at Roosevelt and Costner, another one at Ogden and Hamlin. And actually, New Covenant has projects in both of those. We partner with major developers. So we're hoping that we win at least one of those. The city has seen forth, and with this mayor has seen forth to put more investments into the south and west sides of Chicago. So there's a lot of people looking at North Lawndale right now to determine how they can better invest in the community. And New Covenant and NOCCC are serving as great gatekeepers for the folks that want to come in, talk about what needs to be done. And if you're looking to come to North Lawndale, we think that we, given our partnerships in the community, given our connections, that NOCCC is a great place to start to have those conversations.
Great. Well, we wish you much luck in getting those bids and those projects done. And thank you so much for making the time to be here today. I know you have a hard stop, so feel free to jump off if you have to.
Okay,
but it looks like the judges are back. And so founders, if you could come back onto the stage, and hopefully we'll hear some good news. Well, of course we'll hear some good news, but can't wait to hear what it is. All right, so who is announcing the winner?
I am.
Okay, great. We'll give us one more second for, wait, Willie hasn't joined, right?
Yeah, Willie's here.
Can you see him?
Oh, I don't see him now. Oh.
Willie, come back on stage. There you go. Okay, great. Okay, go ahead.
So first of all, congratulations to everybody for being a part of this. You stepping up and putting together a pitch, or even just having the mindset and the guts to be an entrepreneur. It's just an amazing thing. And so congratulations to all of you, no matter what happens today. We had a hard time deliberating, and I want to thank my fellow colleagues, other judges who we all came together and talked about each of your businesses. And we made the decision today on our winner. This person will receive $25,000. And that person is going to be the person who, now let me stop with the drama.
You're really building it up and so mean.
We stop with the drama. Let me first just say, Pretty Dapper, Art West, and Goodie Shop, all of you guys, you guys have some great businesses, and we really believe that you will be successful if you keep on pushing forward. But our winner is going to be Pretty Dapper, and Pretty Dapper is congratulations, and Pretty Dapper. We just want, as judges, we want to see you successful. So we want you to, find some other tech folks to really come together with you so that you can actually build this out. We love your model, and we think you can be successful with the great team. So we just want to congratulate you. But we do have a surprise. Everybody is going to be getting something today. And so our second place finisher will get $10,000, and our third place finisher, $15,000, and our third place finisher will get $10,000. So our second place finisher is getting $15,000 is going to be Art West, and our third place for $10,000 is going to be the Goodie Shop. So the surprise is that everybody wins, and we all wish all of you guys much success. Congratulations.
If you guys want to say something, please do.
I'm gonna say thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. I mean, first of all, I know Alexie. I'm not familiar with Willie, but I'm coming to some menus, so I'm excited. It takes a lot. North Lawndale gets overlooked so often and dismissed, and we have stories, we have successes, we have ideas, we are thriving, we support one another. It is a stretch, but I'm so grateful, and I just want to say thank you for everyone. When I knew Alexie was on there, I was like, oh man, I gotta really dig in. So I'm grateful for just the support, and even just this opportunity. I've never pitched a tech. I've been sitting on this and hovering it in my close to cuff. So thank you guys so much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It definitely is an emotional experience, you know, obviously to be a business owner on the West Side in North Lawndale and being in the trenches, but knowing that we have been supported this entire time. Like I have been supported this entire time when I was literally just a super shy, you know, very lack of confidence, stepping into spaces just to show my work. And now to be able to have the platform to open the space, to have other artists and other people recognize that the North Lawndale community, as well as the West Side, the greater West Side, is an emerging and bustling place for business, for Black people, and for all sorts of people to come and experience what we have to offer. And I'm so grateful. Thank you for the opportunity. I was stressed, y'all. I was so stressed.
Me too. I didn't do very well in the beginning.
But it challenged me. It challenged me to think about our business model and the way that we engage with people and how to ensure that what we're doing is really worth it. Like, are we really pressing for the mission that we say that we're pressing forward to? So thank you for this opportunity. And even the mentor that I was paired with was just like, unbelievable. To be paired with the founder of Kickstarter, like that in itself was just an unbelievable experience. And I want to thank you, Desiree and NOCCC New Covenant, for, you know, having all the stars aligned for us. So thank you guys.
Congratulations. And I know that the judges probably have a hard stop, but if you don't stay on, I don't know if Willie, you guys have anything else you want to say, but it was a really tremendous.
No, we just want to thank TechRise for the opportunity, especially seeing the little guys in the neighborhood and doing this for our neighborhood. And it's an honor to be grouped with these fellow entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, and I'm happy to do it with you guys. And let's rise together for real.
Well, you all are an inspiration, honestly, to so many entrepreneurs. And I really hope that there are people who are sitting on ideas that are thinking now, like, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, that is what you're doing for your community, not just your community, but also across Chicago. And there are people that are watching this all over the country, young people, old people, and saying like, if they can do it, I can do it. And we need more faces and voices like yours to be here. So thank you for having the courage to be the first group. We are so proud of you. And I'm so glad everyone got money. So great choices, judges. So next week is our idea stage pitch competition on TechRise. So please tune in for that. The Schwartz family is kindly supporting and sponsoring that. And we will have, you know, probably 5 founders that time. Not everyone's going to win money. Only one person's going to win money next week. Thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend. And we will follow up with you founders individually for next steps. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.